Yo, what's up, people? Hope you're all well. Hope you all had a good day today, everyone. I just uploaded some shorts today. So I've just been sharing my fitness progress. Welcome in whoever's just joined. Hope you're well tonight. Thank you for the like. So I just put out another one just not long ago. I was doing dead stop push-ups. I hope everyone's had a good day today. But there's like a benefit to doing the dead stop push-ups because it takes out the stretch reflex. So it takes out some of the momentum that you would get from like a regular push-up. Because when you're doing like a regular push-up, there's no like stop. It's just like constant motion, and in that constant motion, there's this stretch reflex. It kind of creates a bit of a bounce at the bottom, and it sort of like, some see it as like kind of cheating, and it's like a way of keeping tension on the chest when you're doing the push-up, and it's something to try. But I was looking at like how many can the average man do. So it says here, and it's a bit confusing because it says that the average man can do 10 to 15 standard push-ups, but yet if I type in, let's say if I type in how many push-ups can the average male do, right? Then it says, it says the average male in his 20s can do around 15 to 20, which sounds probably about right actually, because but then you look into it, some people suggest that it's between 20 to 30. Hello everybody, hope you're all well tonight. If you're new here, please subscribe to the channel, hit the like button as well. So I'm like, what is the actual number? Because it's like, someone was suggesting it was around 26. Well, according to this, it's somewhere between 10 to 15 is the average that a man can do. So I don't know where they're getting this number 26 from. I don't know. Maybe that's the average number of push-ups that a man can do, not the average. How many push-ups can the average man do? If you get what I'm saying, because it's going to be probably a different number. So, for example, if you averaged out the population of like how many push-ups they can do for like men, let's say, then maybe it would come out as 26, because it's going to be more top-heavy, and it's going to be very much skewed as it goes higher and higher. It's going to go up exponentially. So it's going to be this kind of like graph that's going to go like that, as you get towards the more extremes where, they're doing really, really high numbers, where you go from, say, like from the 98th to the 99th percentile, for example. There's going to be quite a big difference compared to, say, from the 50th to the 51st percentile, if you get me, because it just gets more and more extreme, then it's just more and more rare, and then, so it's kind of like in terms of financial, let's say like, how much money you have, as you get towards the extremes, like, extreme wealth, the amount that they have is going to, go up exponentially more and more, like, incrementally more and more, like it's going to go up, as in like, let's say that the top earners, there's like billions apart in terms of their net worth, whereas, your average is, hello Carl, how you doing? So basically, if we're talking about average number of, well, I'm not talking about average number of push-ups a man can do, but rather how many push-ups can the average man do? It's two different things. So according to this, it's about 10 to 15. Those are just regular standard push-ups. That is just regular you know, like without the, you know, like the dead stop basically. According to this, it's likely between 5 to 10 dead stop push-ups is the average that the average man can do. But if we were talking about the average that a man can do, as in the average number of dead stop push-ups or just push-ups or whatever, for example, then it could be way different from the, you know what I mean? I don't know if you guys understand what I'm saying in terms of when you learn about maths and you learn about averages, you learn about things like the mean average. You know, if we're averaging out the population versus averaging out, you know, in terms of like the median, you know, we're talking about the average guy. How many push-ups can the average guy do? That is the median value, which is, I think, a more useful tool for an average when it comes to this context versus the average that, sorry, you can't, Samantha. I hope you're doing well anyway. Welcome in. If you're new here, please subscribe, everybody. So I just did 20 dead stop push-ups. It's my record so far. So according to this, like, yeah, I'm way above average in terms of my, you know, like endurance on that and being able to have that strength endurance. I don't really give mods out, unfortunately. That's just how I'm doing it at the moment. Nothing personal or anything. Hello, Melanie. Hope you're well. Good evening to you. Hope you've had a great day. If you're new here, everybody, please subscribe to the channel and hit the like button and hit the bell icon when you've subscribed, please. That would be great. I don't know what's going on lately, but a lot of people just don't seem to be getting notified very much. So, but yeah, so I did a short and I did like 20 dead stop push-ups. Hello, Ian Fleming. I hope you're well tonight. Thank you for joining me. So I'm just happy to see, you know, my records are going up and stuff. Hello, whoever's just joined. Hello, Ian, you alright? Where's everybody from? Hit that like button, everybody. Subscribe if you're new here and turn that bell icon on. Hello, Shawan, hope you're well. Oh, really? Oh, well, thank you. Is that meant to be a compliment or something? So how many dead stop push-ups can you guys do, or regular push-ups for that matter? I'm just wondering what you guys are, you know, how many you could do. I would suggest, like, you know, if you can't do more than, say, like 10 push-ups in a row, then you probably should try and up that a bit, especially if you're, you know, not particularly overweight. I think, yeah, 500 plus. What, are you saying that you could do 500 push-ups? Yeah, right. But anyway, so like, so it's just like, you know, if you want to, it's all about strength to body weight ratio, and like, you know, push-ups can be a good test of that, because if you can do like, you know, so many in a row, and it'll suggest that you have good strength to body weight ratio. Same with, say, like body weight squats and things like that. If you can do, you know, let's say 100 body weight squats in a row, that's pretty good. It's pleasant to hear your voice. Okay, thank you. Yeah, I know I can't, I'm sarcastic. Or you can do like 60 plus, so that's good. Yeah, so like, how tall are you then? Because I find that like height seems to really kind of play a part with a lot of these things, but like I said, I just did 20 dead stop push-ups. The dead stop push-ups are a lot harder because it takes out the stretch reflex. It's like I can do like 30 odd regular push-ups, but it's like the dead stop push-ups, it's like I find I can do like longer sets with it, but like I'm guessing it might. I was thinking about how, because I was doing it with like the eccentric control, with, you know, doing 20 reps. I'm gonna get some, like, you know, probably some slow to moderate twitch fibers, and then some fast twitch fibers probably. You know, when you're like exploding up, that's probably mostly gonna be like fast twitch fibers. But yeah, whereas if you're doing a bunch of like, you know, push-ups as fast as you can, then the fast twitch fibers can like burn out quite quickly. Oh, dead stop. Yeah, what's that? 12 plus, right? Yeah, but like with regular push-ups, it's like oftentimes people are just like bouncing out the bottom, and that's gonna like yeah, that's gonna like sort of I would have thought you'd be able to, if you could do 60 regular, I thought you might be able to do about maybe 20, 30 dead stop or something like that, but I guess it depends if you've not really. Yeah, when I started to like practice dead stop, it was like I was getting better like endurance and stuff, and that set went on for like over 1.5 minutes. Hello, Royman. Good to see you again. How are you doing? It's like I've done over 200 like body weight squats before. I did about 225 once. I also did one time 82, I think it was, with a 20 kilogram barbell. So, so I've been not only trying to build muscle and strength, but also have decent endurance as well, because what good is it if you can be so strong in a certain rep range, but then not have the stamina? So, yeah, I don't really try them. Yeah, it does like kind of, I think I just find it allows you to kind of like keep the set going longer. You're able to, it's more about, being able to kind of keep that time under tension and able to kind of, whereas when it comes to regular push-ups, it might be more I'm not sure if maybe like lactate might start to kind of become more of a limiting factor, perhaps. I'm not 100% sure, because I find that my push-up sets usually, if I'm doing like all out fast as I can, it's usually probably going to be under like a minute or something like that, which means that's probably because it's all, like a fast twitch muscle fibers doing that variation, which basically means that, yeah, and my day's been all right, thank you. How about you? Whereas if I'm doing it with more kind of control, and then I'm going to get more slow twitch involved as well. So you're going to be able to kind of exhaust the fast and the slow twitch fibers. Yeah, I don't really count them. It's just a rough guess. All right, fair enough. But according to this, the average guy can only do about 5 to 10 dead stops. So you're already above average if you can do 12. The thing is that there seems to be a lot of like skewed standards when it comes to things like that. People expecting that every man should be able to do 10 pull-ups in a row, which, unless you're like quite sort of, very lean and just have the right build, it's going to be quite difficult. It's everybody's got different, like leverages and stuff like that. It's like, I think it was Austin Dunham was like, oh, every man should be able to do 10 pull-ups. Well, there's actually this guy called the Dutch Giant, I think he's called, and he can only do 2 pull-ups in a row. He's a massive guy. Like, you look at him, you'd think, oh, he should be able to do 20, 30 pull-ups, but it's because he's so tall that it really works against him, because the long limbs, it really does hinder your performance on those sort of things. That's something I stress a lot, because it's going to be different. Like, say you've got someone who's 5'6", they might be able to do 50 pull-ups in a row, whereas someone who's 6'4", they might only be able to do a few reps if they're lucky. So it's like, it's just it's all to do with leverages and things like that. Even with push-ups, it's going to be somewhat different as well, due to your legs do kind of move somewhat in a push-up. So there's that extra range of motion there that is it's adding to your body weight, and it's just it's not like an excuse or anything. It's just that we shouldn't be all held to the same standard, is what I'm saying. But yeah, so I think what's important is focusing on form, because a lot of people, they'll say that they can do a certain number of reps, but then the form can break down. So you got to really try and, or really, I don't know, you're trying to just be silly here or something, flying Thor. So, focusing on form, like making sure, to try and keep your back somewhat straight when you're doing it. Because you see a lot of people, they'll be like cheating, they'll be, doing a lot of sloppy reps and stuff. But there's this saying, don't count the reps, make the reps count, because you're not going to get much out of it if you're just flailing around and just mindlessly doing these things. And a lot of it's almost like a form of ego lifting when they're doing sloppy reps and, doing these kind of, like half push-ups or whatever. And I've been guilty of doing shit like that before, where I would only go part way down, or either that, or I would just, have my back somewhat bent, and people would call me out on that, and rightly so. It's not good. I'm trying to engage the core more, make sure that my core is tight, somewhat more now, and you're making, that having that mind muscle connection and all that kind of stuff, making sure that my core is being engaged, and that's going to help to build up your core strength and stability, and because you're basically preventing, it's called anti-extension. That's what happens when you're doing a plank. So when you're just holding a static position like a plank, is you're getting that anti-extension going on where you're preventing your back from arching, which is something of a benefit of like a push-up. Whereas say like if you're doing I suppose there's benefits to like all these different things. I suppose bench press has a benefit of stability of like say like the weight or something. But no, I don't have a cure other than scratching it. Oh God. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do. Anyway, so there's not anyone gonna answer that. A go-to pizza topping. I don't really eat pizzas that much anymore, but anyway, I used to quite like. I remember my grandma used to make a mushroom pizza, and it was really good. It was like a had a lot of mushrooms on it. But yeah, she was quite good with cooking. I think a lot of the like older generation, they were quite good with cooking, but nowadays it's like they seem to have lost that art of cooking, don't they? A lot of people, like they just don't seem to have it anymore. A lot of them, because it's just like all these ready meals and stuff. It's a bit sad, really, isn't it? With like, they don't have those skills, those culinary skills, that they're. So if we had those skills, then we'd be able to make some good meals ourselves. But a lot of people just get takeouts and stuff, go to like whatever. Oh, you're not really a fan of mushroom, or really? All right. Yeah, I guess it's one of those that's, I guess, a bit of an acquired taste. So it might be the texture. It's got a bit of a kind of almost like a little bit rubbery, I guess you could call it. Kind of texture to it. It's like, not quite rubbery, but it's like, you know what I mean? It's, Anyway. But anyway, I mean, hope everyone's doing well tonight anyway. Share the live out if you can. That would be really appreciated. But yeah, where are you all from anyway, everybody? Who's still in here? Thank you for the 7 likes, everybody. Yeah. What's everybody's like favourite TV program? Has anyone got a favourite TV program? It's like, I don't really watch TV, so I'm just like wondering, like, what you guys are into, really. Try and kind of get some conversation going on something. I quite like watching like comedy stuff, like anyway, what's everybody up to tonight then? So what I want to say is, like, the thing is, right, no matter how good you do with something, there'll always be somebody to try and criticize it, They'll always be like, oh, I think you did that wrong, or something like that, They're always trying to find some fault in it, They'll be like, oh, that was, I mean, it's like, so like, I'm trying my best with the form and stuff, but then there'll probably always be someone that will like try to find something to nitpick. Hi, Melanie, how you doing? I hope you're well. Welcome to my live. It's just sad, isn't it, when you get these people who just all they do is just look to find faults in people, instead of trying to praise them and for the effort and what they're trying to do, and they'll always nitpick. It's not about being constructive, and I think there's a place for that of constructive criticism and all that. But the thing is that oftentimes it's not about being constructive. It's not constructive criticism for them. It's like it's just a way to like try and put you down. It's a way to patronize you, but they themselves wouldn't really. They don't do what you're doing. They would just be sat around and just eating crisps all day or something like that. Because they're too fucking like lazy or whatever, to actually, And someone puts a thing out, bodybuilding is pain or something. Let's have a look, see what they're saying. What are they talking about? And but yeah, basically the whole thing of no pain, no gain thing. But I find that in the after part of after like a workout or something, there's that kind of dopamine, I guess you could say, from that, doing something that's a little bit uncomfortable maybe, to then to feel more at ease and just relax. I think there's something quite satisfying about that. But there's people out there trying to say that bodybuilding as a whole is bad. There is people who take it too far, of course, but there is some people out there who, they're quite healthy and they do things right and they don't take things too far. They know how to live a healthy life and find the right balance of a healthy amount of muscle, a low amount of body fat, and just do it in a way that's not too extreme and still be able to enjoy life and not restrict themselves too much. Because some people can take things too far. They have like literally, they might have friggin', like chicken and rice or salmon and rice or tuna and rice. That's literally all they eat. Maybe they'll have some broccoli or something, and it doesn't sound like fun, does it? So you don't have to be doing all that all your life, because that could be quite off-putting. But you got to find balance. Sometimes it's okay to go eat out with people, as long as you have a decent idea of how much you're eating. If you're trying to kind of like cut calories, for example, or whatever, or just maintain calories, it's like, as long as you have a ballpark idea, it's not like going to completely throw everything out if it goes a little bit over what you would have wanted necessarily. But like, but yeah, anyway, welcoming everybody. Hope you're all well tonight. Yeah, again, if anybody's new here, please subscribe to the channel. That would be really appreciated. I don't know whether I'll have to restart or something, because it's just gone dead in here. So yeah, I might have to start up another live, because it's gone dead. Okay, I'll start up a new one. I think I'll see you all in a second if anyone's still there.